Trying to do both of these at the same time. What's going on, traders? I'm over here live on IG and I'm live on YouTube at the same time. Feeling a little spontaneous this morning. Let me or this afternoon actually. About to go over my trade from Friday. I picked up some gems, or I picked up something. It's in my journal already. I picked up a gem from my trading on Friday, trading at low volatility. So I'm gonna do a recap on that today, go over what I learned, my key takeaways from that, and just give me a few minutes to finish there, getting everything set up. It's already set up. I just want to make sure everything's okay. So for whoever watches this after the fact, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below when I start talking about the purpose of this video. I was gonna just record this and post it later, but I decided I just do this. I just get on the live and do all of this. So yep. So the way that I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna jump on. Well, I'm gonna play the recording of my Friday session, and I'm pretty much I'm just gonna narrate what I was looking at and then talk about the key things that I took away from my trading on Friday. And the reason that I'm doing this is so that maybe it can help someone else. That's why I'm doing it, because I picked up, or I realized something that I could have did much better and got better results, especially with the low volatility. I get into everything as we get into what I'm talking about, into the topic today. As you can see from the title of this video, we're talking about breakouts versus pullback. So really entering the trade and then managing the trade and managing your risk once you're in the trade, right? So give a couple more minutes before I really get going into this. If anyone else wants to jump on while I'm on this live, but of course this will be here as long as YouTube will be here. So let's go ahead and give it a couple minutes, kind of in a little webinar fashion. So if you want to go, you got to get a bathroom break in, get you some water, whatever. I'm gonna try not to be on this too long. I want to keep it under 30 minutes if at all possible. But we'll see how that works. And I'm just also kind of testing some things out too over here. Shout out to everybody that's checking in on IG. Testing a couple. So on the IG side, you get a little bit of the behind the scenes. So if I change the camera over, then I can show my little setup or whatever. For whoever wants to see it, it's all good. So anyway, let me stop rambling and we can go ahead and get on into this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over. I already went over and switched over to, this is the replay. So just to give a little background, or of what I was looking at in the pre-market, before we had the opening bell. I always look at my volume profiles. So, and then I look at the price structure. So let me go ahead and switch over the screen so everything makes sense. I don't think I recorded every single thing that I was looking at. So if we go over here to my Sierra chart, and I'm going to look at the pre-market for Friday. So, at the beginning of the future sessions, we had this little bullish climb, and we were kind of I call this kind of a stepping pattern. So I'm just looking at this, and I'm seeing that we're kind of around midnight Eastern time. We found like some resistance, and we started to trading within this little range above my power range high, and that resistance that we found overnight. So I'm looking at all that, I'm taking all that in. Also, what I'm noticing is there's a low volume in the market. Even for a Friday the volume tends to dip a little bit. So I'm also looking at that and realizing that we have a lot of some low volume. Could be we're going into just a weekend before a holiday week. People tend to start traveling for Thanksgiving, and I'll get into a little bit of what my experience with Thanksgiving week towards the end of this video. So if I forget, I appreciate a reminder. I just want to cover that real quick. If not, I'll cover it tomorrow in tomorrow's live stream, and tomorrow's sound the bell, trading the morning session. All right, so I think that sets up, what I was looking at the open enough. So basically, I'm just looking at low volume. I'm expecting low volatility, and I'm not expecting any, big moves. I'm not expecting any, momentum trades or anything like that. I'm just looking at I'm looking at Friday session in the pre-market as we're going to be trading within a range. All right, so that's my mindset going into the open. All right, so let's go ahead and switch back over. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Now I'm going to move this out the way, and then I'm going to skip through some of this. I'm not going to play it, completely, because it's about an hour's worth of recording, and I don't think we need to see the entire thing. So I'm gonna skip through into the to the open. So once the market opens, we have some sell-off. I'm seeing a tease of momentum to the short side, but remember, I'm not expecting any momentum today because I'm looking at this as a range, and I'm saying that the sell-off is happening towards the top of the power range, which is the low of the overnight range, right? So I'm definitely, like, normally if I'm expecting, you see I'm scrolling left and just reminding myself of what happened in the pre-market and overnight. I'm seeing a lot of support down here. So normally, if this is my first 3-minute no trade window, so I can't trade within these first 3 minutes. So if I saw this kind of volume coming in, I'm going to start preparing to take a trade short, because this looks like it we got some momentum coming into the market. But because of what me noticing the low volatility or the low volume in the pre-market and expecting low volatility, and seeing this area here or this level here is a lot of support, I'm not even I'm just looking for a bounce right here. So I'm not going to trade. I'm not planning to place any trades at this moment, because I think this is more so this is a short-term sell-off at the open. I don't think we're going to keep going lower. But if we do go lower, I am planning to buy the dip, right? So that's my thoughts at this point. I'm not looking to take any shorts. I'm looking to buy the dip, if we go lower. And as I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, so you can see we already showed some buyers coming in right here and within that first 3 minutes, and they confirmed that there is no momentum to the short side. Fast forward a little bit until I start all right, putting some notes in here in my journal. And if you want to see the journal, of course, go to mv3trader.com, go to the journal section, or you can just do mv3trader.com/journal and click the big red button, and you can see everything that I typed in the journal. All right, so at this point, You can read that if you want, but at this point, I'm looking to buy the dip. I'm seeing we broke that support that we found, and after the first 3 minutes, and I'm preparing that maybe the price can go lower, and if it does, this is the low point. How am I trying to say that? This is the lowest that I want to buy in on the trade. So I'm just placing this down here just to prepare, right? Just to get prepared for an actual move. All right. I was gonna bring out my pen tool, but we're good. All right, so you can see I got this order right here, preparing for a move lower. Definitely not expecting to have a strong sell-off today. Seeing a lot of support down here. Not really 100% confident that we're going to make it down here, but if we do, I'm definitely a buyer down here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward some more. All right, so let me back up a little bit. All right, so at this point, we are about 20 minutes into the open of the New York Stock Exchange. And I marked off this range right here because now I've seen a lot of support down in this range, at these levels. This is my key. This green line here is the top of the power range, which is a key level for me. And this is what I base the rest of my key levels off of, right? So as if this is your first time watching, me explain my trades, if I can, stop myself from, there we go. I'm just gonna pause it right here so I can make this point. That my key levels are, just to explain my key levels, I look at them as ranges and not an exact price. So the price right here for me, doesn't really matter. I'm looking at this as a range, just from this green line right here. I'm just looking at this as a range where I can see, something happen, right? So since we're trading down and this right now is forming as we're trading down and this is serving as support, I'm expecting, some sort of a bounce here, right? So as you can see, we did trade down a little bit below that level, and we found this, what I call the short-term floor. We found a floor down here. We found some support within this range, and this is the range that I'm looking at based off the volume profiles and my levels and the price action, right? So I've already established that we have some support down here, that we have some buyers, that we're likely, if they're not already buyers sitting out here, we're likely to have more buyers sitting out here. That's how I'm looking at the market at this time, and this is why I marked off this range here as a short-term floor, right? All right, so let me go ahead and continue, and then we're gonna, in a few more candles, is going to get to the key takeaway that I took, that I saw in in Friday's session during my trade hours. It's really my trade hour. I only trade like an hour a day. All right, so let me fast forward a little bit. All right, so as you can see, I already moved my entry up a little bit, and this is based off of previous price structure, previous price action. I put an order down here in case we dip a little bit more. So I got an order down here expecting to buy the dip right here, expecting to bounce at this level. And I'm also, this is just my entry order. So once that order gets filled, then I'm gonna go ahead and let me explain it this way. This is my entry order, but it's only a partial fill, right? It's not my total position size. So with Lilu, the beauty about trading with Lilu is it gives me a sizable account to where with their rules with the micros, you can go in as much as 80 contracts. Now, I'm not going to ever really, I don't see myself ever really going in, you know, having a position that's 80 contracts. That's a lot, but it gives me a lot of wiggle room, right? So, and I also have the plan that I chose to have a drawdown of $2,500. So keeping all that in mind, this is how I manage my risk with, you know, that I have this much room that I have a lot of contracts that I can, you know, use to scale into a position. So off the bat, I don't have to worry about timing. I don't have to time the market. All I got to do is make sure, or I have to kind of get the direction, you know, somewhat right, and then look at, you know, the key levels where I'm expecting some sort of reaction that I can, or some sort of action that I can react to, right? So with this trade, I will be looking for this, with the order that I have placed right here. I'm looking for, you know, the price to bounce here, and then I can take profits based off of however I want to manage the trade. Now I have a strategy for that, and I will place my target, you know, based off support and resistance, or based off of, you know, the Fibonacci, basically the Fibonacci extension, are based off of price action, you know. So primarily I'm a price action. I look at price action, and that determines how I'm going to actually manage that trade, right? But just my basic strategy is I take a break even once I'm about 15% into profit, right? So just, you know, I just wanted to lay all that out so it, you know, it kind of made sense of, you know, what I'm thinking here, so we can see the total thing. Now, the whole purpose of this video is about breakouts versus, you know, buying into pullbacks. And if you're watching on, real quick, if you're watching on IG, go ahead and what I'm doing is I'm reviewing my trades from Friday, and you can go ahead and jump over to YouTube, and if you're, you know, interested to see exactly what I'm talking about, because of course you can't see my screen on IG. So anyway, just wanted to go ahead, and I saw some people piling in on Instagram. So anyway, all right, so getting back to this. So right now I'm planning I prefer to buy the dip, right? So I'm planning, if the price drops down below this floor, and, you know, we get some sell-off that happens below this floor, that I'm going to buy in right here, and also I'm going to start loading it into the position at my lower levels, right? And I'm definitely expecting a bounce right here, because this is the session low. The session low is in this range here, so I believe this is the session low, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm definitely expecting a bounce there, and if it trades down this much, and depending on how soon it happens, I'm definitely not looking to, you know, take a home run. I'm looking to, you know, just basically get as much as I can out of the bounce, and then get out of the position. That way, you know, I'm not risking, you know, that way I can kind of manage my risk, and I'm not, you know, trying to catch a falling knife. I'm just playing the bounce as we, you know, trade lower. All right, so that's the plan that I got going into this. So let me go ahead and keep move forward in this video, or in this recording. So it looks like, so right now we see some, it looks like we're trying to break this floor, or the low of this support. Take this time to get a water break. All right, so at this point we're kind of seeing the support hold up. I'm thinking at this point that we're going to, it's going to continue to trade lower, and I'm going to get filled, so I don't make any adjustments at all. So I'm just just waiting to see if I get filled on my order to buy the dip. But if we look at the price action, we can tell that we're having, some buyers are coming in right here. Also, I'm still keeping in mind that I'm expecting, because of the low volatility in the pre-market, and I'm not expecting a lot of, or at this point, because of the low volume in the pre-market, I'm not expecting a lot of volatility to come in today's session, right? So I'm seeing buyers come in right here, and I'm thinking at this point that maybe I still, I don't get my order filled because I don't think we don't have enough volatility or momentum to keep pushing us lower. So you can see right there, let me back up a little bit in case you missed it. I got to get my shortcut buttons together for my pen tool. All right, so if you pay attention right here to my order quantity, you see I changed it to 2. So right now what I'm thinking about is maybe my order doesn't get filled down there, and if we take out, let me go ahead and let myself place the order, because placing the order covered up the candle that I want to mention here. All right, so I went ahead and placed the order. So I'm thinking if we take out this this big red candle there, and I'm writing notes. It's kind of the part about, I'm actually thinking about restructuring my layout here, so I don't cover up the screen when I want to take some notes. So all right, let me go ahead and pause it. All right, so what I'm thinking here, all right, remember when I placed this order, the price was still down here. So, all right, the price was like in here somewhere if my pen tool wants to work. There we go. So the price was like in there somewhere, right? So I'm thinking if price trades back up and we take out this red candle, then that's enough of bullish confirmation for me. And then I'm gonna take it long. Now, so here's where not exactly at this time, I still didn't see, I didn't have the key takeaway at this time, but later on, Hindsight Capital tapped me on the shoulder. We all know about Hindsight Capital. All right, the institution with no losses, 100% accuracy. All right, so Hindsight Capital, they tapped me on the shoulder, and they tapped me on the shoulder, and they were like, hey, Rob, since you found this floor down here, like remember, around in these candles, I'd already found the short-term support. I had already found a short-term support, right? So after I placed this order and we had all of this action here, I realized, like later on, it wasn't at this point, but I realized what I could have actually did was I could have moved this order right here. I could have moved that order up into the low of the support, right? Or I could have took those 2 contracts right here instead of up here and still kept this order right there. Actually, that's the trade that I would have preferred. So, what I would have wanted to do, what I think the better play for me would have been, because I'm already expecting to have some, all right, trying to get my pen tool, man, it's too much at one time. All right, so what I'm already planning on buying the dip here. So if I'm already planning on buying the dip here, but if I'm willing to take 2 contracts up here, it would have been better for me to actually take those 2 contracts down there before, we had the sell-off. So around in this kind of, once we saw price start to turn over, I could have placed those 2 contracts at the low of this, at the bottom of this, what I'm calling the short-term floor, which is just the range that we're finding support in. I could have placed the 2 contracts there, and then I could have had a target up here, right? And that's based off of Fibonacci's, right? My Fibonacci extension. Or I could have used the volume profile and placed a volume profile in conjunction with the price structure, and I could have had a target up here as well. So I mean, there's a lot of ways I could have traded it. I could have, took my 2 contracts down here at the low of the support floor and had my main target, right here, and it's getting kind of messy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. So I could have had, my order was gonna be down here at the low of the support floor, right? Option 1 for the target could have been to have the, my target up here based off the Fibonacci extension, right? So that's the green line. It's the green line, boss. Sorry, had a little movie reference pop in my head. And option 2 was I still could have had this up here, but I could have had another. I could have took one contract off at the top of the structure here, also with confirmation of from the volume profiles, right? So to me, I think that would have been the better trade to take. That would have given me. I think that would have been better for risk reward, because if let's say the price actually turned around right here. Let's say price actually turned around right here and traded lower, filled me in right there and then continued to trade lower. Or let's say I got, it traded up, it filled me, and then it turned around and traded lower. Technically, I'm risking more than if I would have just took the order down here, right? And I don't, I'm not expecting, getting filled here. I'm not expecting for a price to just just shoot up and then give me a lot of profits, right? I'm not expecting a home run. So I'm expecting actually to see some resistance right here where I have my first target, this green line. And since because basically I'm looking at structure, I'm looking at volume profiles. You see we don't have a lot of much volume in this area here. So looking at all of that, I'm not, I'm expecting to see some resistance right here. And I'm, if we even make it there, I'm expecting for price to get rejected hard and then we'll trade down lower. All right, so that's what I'm expecting. And that's how I think I should have traded it instead of the way that I did trade it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this play out, and let's see how I actually ended up, trading and managing the trade. So I hope that makes sense. If it makes sense, go ahead and leave if you're watching this now, go ahead and leave a 1 in the chat. Or we're gonna use my number. If you're watching this now, leave a 3 in the chat. Or go ahead and, if it makes sense, leave a 3 in the chat, or leave a 3 in the comment section below if what I said makes sense. Also, feel free to leave your comments and let me know if if you agree with my analysis, or if you see I could have traded it a different way. This is I like to bounce off ideas back and forth between other traders. So I think it helps us all grow, and this is the reason why I have my channel, to share my insight and share my journey and share the things that I'm seeing, so that it can help someone else get better results with trading, and not just trading futures. I'm a futures trader, but I believe the things that I share, I try to help traders that trade anything, whether that's futures, stocks, forex, options, whatever you're trading. The information that I share, I try to share information that helps all traders, right? So at this point, we can see that I got those 2 orders filled on I call this a takeout trade. A breakout would be at the top of this pivot up here, or really at the top. I just scrolled away from it, but at the top of of the support or the resistance that we have based off the pivots up here. I'm going to fast forward through the note taking. All right, you can see order filled on the takeout. And see, now this is, you see I started putting hindsight capital note in here in the journal. This is when I realized I actually could have played the dip instead of taking the takeout trade. This is when I realized that at this point. All right, you see I have my, all right, let me go ahead and try to pause this real quick. All right, so I have my target. I got filled here. I have my target, based off of what I mentioned before. It's kind of based off of price structure as well as the fib level. I'm not really, giving a whole lot of attention to the volume profile for this target right now. And I just got it in a location that I think is the best case scenario, right? Definitely not looking for a home run. This is what I would call a scalp. But either way, I'm good. So I'm not looking to be profitable right away. I'm not expecting, because of the volatility, and still at this time the volume is still low, so I'm not expecting to really hit this target too quickly. I'm not, I'm prepared for some pullback, and as you can see, I still got this order here. Actually, so when I got entered into this trade, the order that I had, the entry order that I had down here, I went ahead and removed it and placed a new order, because Ninjatrader, it's kind of, it can be kind of weird for how it for like scaling it, for how it treats orders, or how can I say it? Ninjatrader is kind of weird for how it treats multiple orders. So what I did, just to make sure it, I could scale correctly and it adjust everything the way that I wanted it to, I went ahead and removed that initial order that I had there, put a new order in at that same level, so that if it do trades lower, I can scale into it and I can take the bounce like I planned before. Right. Also, if we trade lower, I could, I got another order sitting right here, so that with 8 contracts, that it helped drop my average price down, and I can take the bounce there, because I'm still expecting a big bounce here if it does get down there. If it even does get down there. At this point, I just got these down there just in case. I'm not expecting at all for these orders to be filled. You can see I got my stop loss way down there. That's just like the emergency brake. I'm not, if I ended up getting all of these orders filled and it, trades lower based off the price action, I'm going to use price action to determine exactly where I'm going to move my stop loss. This is just, I want to have my stop loss in case worst case scenario happens, and I just got to eat that loss there. I don't want to, not have it there at all. But I got it way out of the way, and I can make a decision later on exactly how I want to play the stop, right, based off of the price action. And if that happens, what I will be looking for is the price to, I'll be looking for the bounce, and then I'll start trailing the stop loss based off of the price action to either take a small loss or to take a small profit, right? So I'm not going to bore you with the rest of how I managed this trade. That's basically what I wanted to point out between what I did versus what I think I should have did. Okay, so what I did was I took the takeout or the breakout, depending on however you want to define or label it. I think we get the sentiment. So what I did was I took the takeout, but what I think I should have did was got in on, placed the same order for 2 contracts, which is a very small portion of my total position, right? So I'm not risking a whole lot. I should have placed those 2 contracts down here to support, and then had the same, everything else, managed it the exact same way if the price traded higher. And what would have happened is, more than likely I would have hit my targets if I had one target here and another target there, or if I just kept these 2 targets here. More than likely, I don't think if I would have got in down here at the support, it would have traded higher. It would have triggered my break even, but my break even would have been below where we actually, reversed, where the price reversed after a slight pullback. And eventually, it took a while because remember, the volatility was low, so we didn't have no momentum in the markets at all. So it took a while, but eventually I would have hit my targets, right? So let me go ahead and I'm just going to fast forward through all this. If you want to watch it, just go head on over to the journal, nv3trader.com, and I got the same recording right there in the journal for Friday. Just click on in fact, I will do it since I'm on the live webinar fashion, and I promise, I meant to say this in the beginning, but I forgot it. This is why I need to write stuff down. I have absolutely nothing to sell in this bootleg webinar. This is just a free game, completely free game, and I'm just breaking down everything that I saw and breaking down the way breaking down my strategy. I'm breaking down everything really. There's people that would charge for this. I don't think it should be. I'm not gonna get into that. Let me find the window that I'm looking for. So if you want to see the full recording, I didn't post this one. I don't have it. It's posted on YouTube, but it's unlisted. So anybody, if you have the link, you can see it. It's just not, I don't have it like up on the page or up on the channel. So I just did that and I didn't explain anything. So go to nv3trader.com, right? Go to the journal section. Click the big red button once you get to the journal section. And by journal section, I mean journal page. It's for any word Nazis out there, which I am a word Nazi myself. That's why I thought about it. And then this is Friday session, November 20th. Just click on, the link right there, and you scroll down, and you'll see this section that says full trading session video recording. That's why I have it. You just click on that button, and it'll take you to YouTube, and then you can see the actual this recording, and you can watch it. You can watch it like game tape. You can you can see everything there. You know what I'm saying? It's there for you as much as it is there for me, right? Because I actually go back and I review my stuff also. I should do it more often, but I try to do as much as I can. All right, so I think that oh yeah, this is the other thing I wanted to show you before I jump off of here. So you can see we kind of traded sideways a little bit. It was just hanging around. I even put another order down there to load into the position more, just to give me a better average price if it traded lower. I still wasn't expecting it to trade lower. I wasn't even expecting this extra order to get filled, but just in case, I had it down there just to manage to trade a little bit better. Wrote some more notes, and eventually I also moved the target down a little bit. Oh no, what I did, let me see, trying to get it to the exact part. All right, so at this point I was watching it because I saw we had a lot of resistance here, and the volume profiles confirmed the resistance, the seller sitting up here in this range. Of course I can't see the price because it's after the fact. Where is my handy dandy pen tool? So I'm looking at this range right here, and my plan is, once if price trades up there, I'm gonna take off one contract. So you can see over here in the quantity, I already adjusted it to one contract. So I was gonna just take off one contract if price traded right there. And to do that, you can also see I have my mouse sitting right there. So I'm just gonna sell the bid. Just click the mouse and sell the bid right there if price trades up into that, based on how it got there, based off the price action. And let me go ahead and hit play. I'm just waiting, trying to wait out the volatility. Wait out the sluggish market. It took a lot of patience to wait for this all to play out. Which reminds me of another point. Experience is very, very important to be consistently profitable at trading. I see a lot of new traders try to come in, they try to skip the experience side, and then most of the time they struggle, because you got to get the experience. You just have to. It's just like anything else in life. You're not, if you go to school for something, you're not going to be really good at it until you get experience at it. Yeah, you may you may be better at it than someone else that are just started out and in the same experience phase as you are. But to be really good, to be a master of something, to be an expert at something, you need the experience. To consistently do something well, you got to have the experience. So anytime I give advice for getting into trading or investing or whatever, I tell people that you definitely want to do what you want to do. The way that I approach it is get the experience. So you get the experience by paper trading, watching other helpful traders. You got to be careful who you watch, or who you get to mentor you. You got to be careful where you get your advice from. But I mean, just really screen time. That's the experience. Get as much screen time as you can. Get your 1,000 hours in, all that good stuff. But the more experience you get, just with anything else, the better you're gonna be at it. And the progress that I have made is most of it is due to experience. It's just that I know NQ so well at this point, and see right there. So I finally got the price to trade up to where I wanted it to. I took the one contract off. You see, I still got one contract left on this order. And now I'm just waiting for my target to get hit. It took a while, and I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of that. So we do know the target got hit, and I was able to walk away with a profitable day, even though it took a while to get to that profit, right? So that basically covers everything that I wanted to talk about today. And also at the beginning of this video, I said I was gonna kind of give my insight on Thanksgiving week and what I've seen from the Thanksgiving weeks that I've traded, or at least I've watched the market during Thanksgiving week. And usually we throughout the whole week there's usually low volatility. I think last year was a little bit different, but Monday is, things can be kind of normal, or the volatility can be low, and you just kind of either the market, well, NQ anyway, specifically NQ is what I'm talking about, or the NASDAQ. It's it'll either trade slowly in one direction, or it'll kind of just hang out sideways, and we'll have a day like we had today, throughout the whole week of Thanksgiving. And then volatility usually doesn't pick back up until the Monday following Thanksgiving. And what I see from that, my perspective on it is that traders are ready to get back in into the markets. They're done with all their vacation and they're traveling. They're ready to get they're excited about trading again, or about getting back into the market. So you see a lot of activity on the Monday following the long Thanksgiving weekend. And anything can happen with all that volatility, as we know. So that's just, I just wanted to share my personal experience with the Thanksgiving week. Of course, anything can happen, so that is not advice to do the buy, sell, or do anything. It's I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not telling you to make any trades, or not telling you to anything to specifically do with your trading or your investing, right? I'm just sharing my advice and my opinion on things, just to give that disclaimer. And I didn't give that at the beginning of this video, so I definitely want to make sure I put that out there. So I just wanted to share that real quick, and I hope you found value in it. If you did, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below because I'm about to end this video right now, so I'm not going to see it in the chat. So if you found value in what I showed here, or what I went over here, this recap, then go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. If you like it, go ahead and hit that like button so that you can see more content like this, not just from my channel, but from, across YouTube. Because as I explained in another video, what really happens when you hit the like button, YouTube sees that, and they want to continue showing you content just like that, right? And for everybody who chimed in on IG, appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the live. So all right, on IG. All right, so that wraps it up for this one. Appreciate y'all coming through, and trade it easy. Have a good week. See you tomorrow morning.